All right, if you can see that there, those are the results from our poll there.
Wow,
you,
zero TV, 2% newspaper.
Uh-huh.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and then what we had print, we had 9%.
Yeah, print's 9%, and so people say flyers and postcards. I guess they're taking print as something other than flyers or postcards. That's good.
Yeah. Okay.
So we can combine that to a good 44%. That's good.
And then social
a lot of people
media,
out there doing something. Social media is
yeah.
pretty good. You know,
Yeah.
I expected to see more with the website edition. We'll see. You know, we'll talk about that here in a bit.
Okay. Let me go ahead and I'll turn things over to you, Herman. I'll make a couple announcements here. I'm making you the presenter now. As I said, my name is Scott Kalanico. I'm the editor of MSP Business Management magazine website to help you learn how to run your MSP more effectively. With me today is my guest, Mr. Herman Pool from Vertical Axion. He's the president of Vertical Axion. He's also the director of growth strategies with Guerrilla Marketing International, the largest marketing firm in the world. Is that correct, Herman?
We're the largest marketing brand in the world. Let's be
largest marketing brand. Yeah.
So Guerrilla Marketing is a book written by a man named J. Conrad Levinson, and it's sold over 25 million copies. Hopefully a lot of you have read it. If you haven't, hop on Amazon today and get a copy. It's a great book.
Okay, Herman, if you just go ahead and share your screen there, we can get going here. Just a couple of announcements here. We are recording this webinar. We'll make it available. You'll get a link in your GoToMeeting from GoToMeeting software in about a week or so, telling you the URL where you can download this. We'll have an MP3 of it, and then we'll also have a video of it that you'll be able to view. The MP3 will also be on iTunes, so if you subscribe to our iTunes channel, you'll be able to get that. Well, as we go along here, if you guys see your chat interface, if you'll go ahead and just type any questions that you have for Herman into that interface. If they're particularly good, I'll ask them as we go along, and if not, we'll combine them all into the session at the end. We'll have a Q&A at the end with any time left over. And if Herman doesn't get to your question, I'll send him a list of them, and that'll be your homework. You can
yeah, I'm all about homework.
Too. All right.
I think that's fair. Because I'm going to ask everybody here to get out their pen and paper, because many of the things I say today can and will help build your business, guys. So make sure you get out a pen and paper. I'm going to teach you something usable today.
Okay. Excellent. Well, Herman, why don't you go ahead and let's not keep anybody waiting anymore. Why don't you go ahead and take it away.
Sure thing. My name's Herman Pool, guys. Like Scott just said, I'm with a company called Vertical Axion. Today I'm going to spend a lot of time teaching you guys about the 5 secrets of marketing that turn into roadblocks if you're not using them. So like I said, get out your pen and paper. We want to make sure that we're writing some things down because I'm going to teach you some actionable things today. So a little bit about myself and Vertical Axion. Like you guys, I also own an IT company, and I've had it for about 19 years. When I started, I was a 17-year-old homeless kid. I was given the opportunity to live in the back of a guy's TV shop, and I started fixing computers out of the back. And within about 18 months, we turned this little $60,000 a year TV repair place into a $380,000 a year business in a town of 10,000 people. We did that by marketing, by making sure that people knew who we were, they knew what we could do for them, and to come in and do business with us. So Vertical Axion is actually a marketing company that I founded last year because Jerry Kutavas of the ASCII group came to us and said, listen, I know you're getting a lot of traction with people at your IT company using internet marketing. Can you do the same for other IT providers? At which point I said, absolutely. You know, I happen to have this web development company, so I spun it off into Vertical Axion. So now we work hard to make sure you guys can grow using marketing like I did. So talk to you about the core concepts. When I started building my business, I had a real hard time grasping the concept of marketing. I was really technically proficient, like most of you. I was pretty business savvy, but I was terrible at coming up with advertisements and making sure people knew who we were, making sure we got the message out. So I spent a lot of time studying marketing, and this is what I found when I was trying to find out what marketing is. Marketing is the process of communicating the value of a product or service to customers. And that doesn't sound super sexy or fun, does it? So I'm going to make it simple. Marketing is everything from traditional advertising, your website, the way you and your staff dress, the way you answer the phone, and the way you follow up. Okay? It's the science of getting people to do business with you and keep your business. And this is where I want you guys to pull out the pen and paper. The pen and paper are going to help you retain this stuff and use it later on, because everything I'm teaching you is what I used to build my business. So I want to make it even simpler. Let's talk about what marketing is. So when I started trying to do advertising and marketing, I had to spend a lot of time learning about what marketing actually was before I could do it, because I had a misconception. I thought marketing was advertising, and it's not. It's so much more than that. So marketing is all contact with people outside of my office. That's pretty simple, right? Every person that you come in contact with and every way you contact them is a method of marketing. So if we keep that in mind, we'll do a lot better with our marketing. We change the way we answer the phone, we change the way we greet people, we change the way we dress, and we saw a huge improvement in our business, and you will too. Marketing is the truth made fascinating. What do I mean by that? Well, when we're creating marketing message, we need to make sure that we're telling a fascinating story. I could tell you all day long about how there are reports that say how important backup and disaster recovery are. I could tell you about the statistics from the Small Business Administration about the large numbers of businesses that are ended by data loss. But mostly people tune that stuff out. It's just raw and boring. It isn't interesting. So instead, you need to tell your client about the company who was hit by Hurricane Sandy and lost their home, right? About the building that their business was in being destroyed. But they were able to start rebuilding right away because their IT provider encouraged them to use off-site backup. They didn't lose their data, their clients continued to work, and everybody was happy. You have to make sure that whatever you're saying is said in a way that educates and entertains. So rather than just telling people the naked truth, dress it up in some stories. You don't have to sit there and bore them with the plain naked truth. Make it engaging, make it a little bit fun, and it'll be a little easier to sell. So nowadays, when we go into a client's office, do we just sit there and talk about how great we are? No. We say, what are your pain points? We don't just say, hey, look at all the great stuff we do. We ask, what do you need done? Then we build a story of how we can help them. It's a lot easier to get through to your client. Marketing is also a chance to educate the market. What do I mean by that? Well, nowadays, when you set yourself up as an expert, it's a lot easier to get in the door than just coming in off the street and saying, hey, I own a computer store and I want to help you. When they start seeing your blog posts and the videos you make to educate them on different things, they start seeing you as an expert. And I want to commend Scott here. He does a great job at GFI because everyone loves the MSP Business Management blog. I know I do, because we all get to walk away with something new that we can take home and make some money with, right? So we can do the same thing for our clients as an IT provider. We can provide content to educate them about how to save money on using services, for instance. Or we can create a blog that teaches them not just how technology helps their business, but also how to improve their business in other ways. As we teach them more and more and engage them with things that they find interesting, they see us as an expert and they come to us with their questions. And then we find out what they really need, and then we sell them that thing they need. So we want to educate the market. Marketing is also a circle of revenue from repeat customers. So marketing is all communication we have with everybody outside our office, right? I want you to know this. It's important. Marketing has a beginning and a middle, but it doesn't have an end, guys. What I mean is once we market to people and get them into our system, we're going to keep marketing to them to bring them back to make more and more money. How many times have you spoken with a client who said, I just paid for a new thing. Can you come by and set it up? But in the meantime, you sell that product or service, and you know you just missed out on a sale, so you feel sick to your stomach that they didn't know about it. In my little town of 10,000 people, it's hard to sell just one item and make a living, and I think that's true for many of us. At my office, we have over 93 different deliverables, so we have to constantly educate our clients and let them know that we've got other products for them to keep coming back and keep that circle of revenue going. So just as important as what marketing is, learning what marketing isn't is equally important. So let's talk about what marketing isn't. So now we have the idea of what marketing is. Let's look at what it's not. It's not as difficult as you think, guys. Keep it simple. I used to get so scared when it came time to do media buys or build ads or yellow book pages because I wasn't sure, if what I was doing was right, and it made me nervous. I got so nervous about pardon me, I got so nervous about wasting the money, guys, that I just wouldn't run an ad. I just got paralyzed with fear. So how many of you have been in this situation? I'd put an ad together. I'd spend about a month making it look just right, and I go, man, I don't know if that color blue is the proper color blue. So I go back and I change the blue, and 2 months later I'm going, no, I don't like that blue either. So I never run the damn ad. And if I don't run it, I'm certainly not going to make any money. So I had to tell myself, look, it's not as difficult as you might think. I had to start trying different things. You got to try different things. You got to see if it works. If it doesn't work, modify it. You're not going to be perfect every time. Every ad that we use is not going to be a home run ad out of the park. Just accept that. Keep it simple. It's not a magic button, guys. And what I mean by it's not a magic button is it's something I had to understand too. I was taking these big ads and I would put them in the newspaper, right? I'd get like a half-page ad and I'd run it once every 3 months or so. Now, once I did this, I would sit by the phone and expect it to ring magically, as if that one ad was going to do it. But it doesn't work that way, guys. People need to see things over and over and over again before they start to take action with you. And we're going to talk more about that here in a minute. So again, marketing's not something that ends. You're always going to be marketing, whether you're doing new advertisements or you're spending time coming up with new ways to answer your phone or just talking to customers on the occasional how are you doing phone call. And I hope you're all doing those kind of maintenance phone calls. Just call and ask your customers how they are. Don't expect a thing out of it. If you do this genuinely, it's going to be probably, for me, it's been our best marketing ever. So remember, guys, we're not going to end our marketing. We're going to go on and on with it. Also remember, marketing's not a single tool. You know, in that poll, you know, we asked you, what are you using? And we kind of rigged it because you could only choose one thing. But the fact is, we can't just use one thing. It's not just, marketing's not just our website. It's not just an ad. It's not just a phone book, yellow page ad, or whatever you might do. There are hundreds of tools, hundreds of marketing tools that you guys have access to, and you need to use as many as possible to be effective. So let's go back and think about that big ad I was talking about earlier. I'd take this big ad, and I'd spend all my money on this one really huge ad thinking it's going to be the thing that puts me over the top, but it's not. Research shows that people need to see your message at least 9 times, okay? So here's the really interesting thing about that. Another study shows that 2 out of 3 times that they see your ad, they weren't even paying attention. So let's put it this way. If they look at your marketing 3 times, only 1 out of 3 times are they paying attention. That means 27 times is how many times they really have to see your ad. So you have to get out there as much as possible in as many spots as possible. So if all you're doing is one little ad a month, it's not going to cut it. All right, it's not going to cut it for you. And if all you're doing it is in one place, that's not going to cut it either. Nowadays, you have to be in social media, on web pages, on other people's web pages, in the news more. You have to be everywhere you can because the more places you are, the more chances you get to be seen, and the more we're seen, the more money we make, right? So multiple tools are required to get the job done. So I want to talk to you guys about the 5 secrets of marketing. These are the 5 secrets that helped me become a larger company. Here's the thing, guys. Marketing is not hard, but it seems hard when you've never thought about it before. And in my case, I went out and bought every stinking book that's ever been written about marketing, and I built all this stuff up in my head. I've got all these different mentors telling me different things, basically, from these books, and I didn't know what to do. It's called analysis paralysis. I had all these different mentors telling me to do different things in marketing, and I got so scared of doing the wrong thing, I didn't make a move. So what I finally had to do is tell myself, look, what are the things that are common across all these different marketing people that I'm learning from? Because if they're all saying the same thing, and it's multiple authors, it's probably going to be a good thing to have. So from this, you learn the 5 secrets of marketing. Okay, first of all, guys, we have investment. Now, we talked about this a little while ago. It's not a magic button, guys. There's never going to be one. It's just not going to happen. Sometimes you'll luck out, you'll do a marketing campaign, and it's going to kill for you. But that's the rare occasion. Mostly it's going to take time. A great example here, guys, is the Marlboro campaign. I'm sure you guys are familiar with Marlboro cigarettes. But the Marlboro Man is this really cool image that they created. And the reason that he exists is because Marlboro used to be a cigarette that was predominantly purchased by women. It was number 37 on the market, and it wasn't doing very well. So Philip Morris wanted to get more market share, and they noticed that men smoke more than women. So what they did is they went to a company called Leo Burnett Worldwide and met with a man named J. Conrad Levinson, who happens to be a friend of mine, a mentor, and now a business partner. J. Conrad Levinson wrote the book called Guerrilla Marketing, Guerrilla, for those of you with pen and paper, marketing. You may or may not have read it, but it sold 25 million copies worldwide. It's a great book. Go pick it up if you haven't yet. So Jay and his team put together. What was that?
Sorry to interrupt, Herman. I was just going to say I'll put the link up for those of you out there.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah.
So Jay and his team put together this proposal for Marlboro, guys. He said, let's go out to Texas ranches, and we'll take pictures of the ranches, maybe a lone cowboy and a horse, and that's my concept. We'll see what we'll get. It's tough. It's cool. It should be good. So Philip Morris ran with that ad, and they ran with that campaign for a year. And after a year, and I'd like to see some input from some of you, they were number 37 after a year of running the Marlboro campaign, which we all know is a very fantastic campaign. What position do you guys think they were at? We getting some input there?
Let's see. Mark, okay, here, yeah, we are. Wow, that was a good. That was a good marketing question. Okay, we've got Mark said number 20, John said 2, Lee said 5, Todd said first, Jason said first as well.
I'll give you the answer.
Okay.
Number 37. They went nowhere, guys. So Jay went and he talked to the head of Philip Morris at the time, and he said, "Hey, where are we at?" And the head of Philip Morris said, "We're at number 37." And Jay goes, "Man, that doesn't seem right. I'm very sorry. We should have done better for you." He said, no, you told me it's an investment. I understand that it takes time, so we stuck with it. And today they're the #1 brand, not in America, but the entire world. Guys, so remember, investment, there's no magic buttons. I'm not saying you have to stick with something for an entire year. We're smaller, and the great thing about being smaller is it's a lot easier for us to adjust in a lot quicker time. Our feedback's faster. Our results are faster. So that's what we want to do. So remember, guys, it's an investment. There are no magic buttons. Whoops, we'll go back one here. Commitment. That's what we just talked about a few minutes ago. Repetition and consistency are needed. Again, 27 times before they really receive your message and take action, right? Measurement. This one's important, guys. How many times has someone, and girls, how many times has someone called your office and you're like, where did this guy hear about me? He got my number from somewhere, but I don't know where. That's where you should be going, hey, I should be calling, or I should be tracking every single call that comes in and writing it down on a piece of paper. Ask them where they heard about us and write it down. It's not a really hard thing to do, guys, and there's much better ways to track this, and I'm going to show you a few here in a minute. Message. So we talked about this a little earlier. I'm not going to sit there and lay down a bunch of technical jargon. Remember, I've got to speak to their needs and their desires. Their goals need to match up with my goals, and I need to align myself with them, right? So the most important to me, also follow-up. Keep in touch with your clients, and we're going to talk about that in just a minute. We'll go a little deeper into these. Investment, again, marketing takes time, guys. I just told you the Marlboro story, right? It took them a couple of years, but now they're #1 in the world. Don't expect a miracle. There are no magic buttons, okay? Commitment. Ads have to be seen dozens of times, okay? We've got to keep that up, right? I want to see some input here. Someone tell me, I said this earlier, type it into your box. How many times does an ad need to be seen, does your message need to be seen before somebody takes action?
Lots of people saying 9 over here.
Okay, remember, 9 is a good answer, but remember, with those 9 times, people aren't paying attention 1 out of 3 times. So really, it's 27 times, guys, 27 times in order for people to see your message. Because they're not
we
paying
did
attention.
we get a bunch of 27s at the end there.
Good deal, guys. Okay. All of you guys that said 27 are right, and Scott's slow.
Okay.
Or you're cheaters. I'm not sure which. Either way is okay. So guys,
okay.
ads have to be seen dozens of times. Choose frequency over size. Here's my story on frequency over size, guys. I told you about the large ad I used to run once every 3 months. So what I did is I sat down and I looked at my marketing budget, and I thought, man, I'm not getting anywhere with this. I really got to figure it out. So I learned my 5 secrets. I found the 5 things that were the same between all these mentors. So what am I going to do? I said, well, there's some business card size ads in the back of my local newspaper. They were about $35 a week or something, or $35 a run. And I went to them and I said, guys, can I buy one of these business card size ads? They said, sure. I said, well, I want to run it 2 a week and I want to make my ad real simple. So what I did is I just took a picture of a lady with kind of the Home Alone face, you know, with the hands on the face screaming right at her laptop, and it said, "Don't worry, we can fix it." That's all it said, and it had a phone number at the bottom, nothing else. I ran that ad for a month straight, nothing. Second month, Third month, our phones absolutely exploded, guys. We saw nearly a 300% growth that month in our break fix business. That's when I understood that commitment was indeed the most important part of my marketing. People need to see it over and over and over again, and you need to be committed to your marketing program. So you learn the most important lesson. Occasional advertising to waste. When they come to me and they say, "Hey, Herman, I want you to be in this one-shot deal," I don't give them a one-shot deal. I say, I want to be in all your one-shot deals that you do throughout the year, all your quarterly specials, because I want people to see me over and over and over again. So that's commitment. Now, guys, we don't just commit blindly. We're going to measure the results. We talked about measurement a little bit, but let's talk about special offer codes. Has anybody ever stayed up late night and watched TV? You know, personally, I love QVC. When they say act now, the special offer code on one of these infomercials, it might say, call and say special offer code TV and we'll give you a special prize or free shipping or something like that. So the real reason they do that is not because they're so nice they want to give you something for free. It's because they want to know where their advertising dollars are going. So that's what special offer codes are used for. Unique phone numbers. This is my favorite, guys. You're going to love this. With unique phone numbers, at my business, we started phone book advertising back in the early 70s. My business has been around with the other owners since '68. They've always been doing phone book advertising. But when I bought the business from my former partner, we started including unique phone numbers in all of our phone book ads. And here's what happened. We ran unique phone numbers in each phone book, and the phone book guy comes by about a year later, and he says, "Hey, time to buy a new ad." I said, "Well, what's the deal?" He says, "Well, we've only gone up 10% over our price last year, but our phone book is going to be smaller. But lucky you, you only get to pay 10% more." I said, "Boy, that sounds like a great deal. 10% more for a smaller ad. You're a fantastic salesman." So I said, "Look, why don't you just sit down here at this desk?" And we've got this desk up front because we sell mobile phones, and it's got this swivel monitor on it. So I swivel the monitor around to him, and I said, let's pull up and see how your phone book ad is doing. The guy looks at me and goes, "What?" I said, "Well, we track your numbers so we know how many phone calls we've gotten from you." I pulled it up, and it said 5 phone calls a month. I said, "Man, 5 phone calls a month. What do I pay you?" And he told me what I pay him, which was way too much for 5 phone calls. And I said, "Gee, man, looks like we got a problem here. 5 phone calls a month. I guess we can just cancel you." "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa," the guy says. "Let me call my boss." So he walks outside, comes back in and says, "Listen, we'll give you twice as many ads for the same price." I said, "Dude, it's only 5 calls a month. What are you going to do?" He says, "All right." He walked away again. He came back. He says, "Listen, I'm going to give you twice as many ads for half the price you paid last year." I said, "That's a deal." The next phone book guy came in and said, "Boy, I want to tell you about the new phone book ads." And I'm thinking in my head, I've got this down pat, right? So the phone book guy comes in, he sits down, he says, "Let's talk about your ad." I said, "Let me guess, 10% more." He said, "That's silly, 30% more." I said, "Well, that's great." He said, "Let me guess, it's a smaller phone book, right?" I say. He goes, "No, no, no, it's much smaller." I said, that's fantastic. So we sat down, 30%, let's look at where you're at. So I pulled up his phone number and I show him. And the report says that we're getting 40 calls a month. And I'm like, wow, that's really good, but I don't say anything to him. I just get real stone-faced. I look at him and I said, "We're only getting 40 calls a month. That's not enough." And I said, "What can you do?" And he came back and he gave us a fantastic deal. I think it was 30% is what we paid, only 30% of what we paid the year before, and he gave us double the ads. So this guy had no idea because nobody ever tracked them. Nobody ever called them on their bluff, so they had no idea. So we track the ads and we know what's going on, guys. We're never in the dark about where our advertising dollars are going. Then, of course, you guys want to make sure you're using website analytics, right? Google Analytics is a great tool, and we did a poll showing how many people might use a website, and I saw some people answer no, and we can help you out there. But website analytics, if you've got a website, you need to put Google Analytics on there or you're cheating yourself. If you don't know where your traffic's coming from, you don't know how to get more traffic there, so we need to have analytics. Guys, you can use almost all of these things and add them to the GFI building blocks materials. And I'm going to show you how you can use unique phone numbers with your GFI building block materials right now. So pen and paper, hope it's handy. www.callfire.com and Google Analytics. Okay. So what's callfire.com and what do they do? Well, what do you think it does? It tracks phone numbers. It's very cool. It tracks the phone numbers, and that's what we want to do. Callfires is like $3.50 a month plus some pennies per minute. And for me, pardon me, for me it's worth every penny. And of course, Google Analytics, there's the URL there. There's the URL there. Oh, I was trying to mute and I coughed right into you guys. I'm sorry. So hopefully, what was that?
I put both those links up there.
Yeah, I was about to say, hopefully Scott just put those in there, and it looks like he did. So make sure you're checking out callfire.com and whatever else.
Just want to, if I could throw something in here real quick, Herman, just if you're using a content management system, CMS, for your website, for your business, they both WordPress and Drupal both have like plugins that basically all you have to do is plug in your Google Analytics number. Like you don't have to even put any code or cut and paste or anything. It's pretty simple to use.
Yeah, and that's a good point, guys. If you're using those kind of sites, it's real easy to put them in. And even if you're not, it's just a cut and paste thing you add before the bottom tag of your website. It's very easy. And you know, of course, Google Analytics is real simple to use there. Let's talk about the message. This is a part that a lot of people miss out on. Guys, we have to speak to our clients' needs. What do I mean by that? So oftentimes we run ads, we say, hey, I've been in business for 19 years, or I'm Cisco certified, or I'm an HP authorized reseller. We have to tune into a radio station called WIIM. What's in it for me? Think about the client's perspective when you're writing any ad copy or any brochure or pamphlet. Say, I'm the client, my computer's broken, my network's slow, what do I have to do with these messages? So you're going to say, how do I do it, or how do I see it from the client's perspective? Think about the client, avoid technical. Nobody cares. I'm sorry, guys. Nobody cares that we've been in business for 19 years. That's great. The guy across the street's been in business for 22. They'll go to him instead if that's our differentiator. It's not good. We don't want to pigeonhole ourselves like that. We want to talk about their needs and speak to the pain point. Remember the Home Alone girl ad I was talking about? Still gets calls consistently. So think about the client and avoid tech talk. So speaking about the message, I want to help you guys out. I want to help you create a 30-second elevator pitch. For those of you that don't know what a 30-second elevator pitch is, it's going to be a little 30-second speech that you're able to give somebody in the time it takes to go floor to floor in an elevator to tell them what you do with your business and get them interested. So we want them to know in 30 seconds what it is that we do and make them interested to ask more questions. This can be a big piece of your marketing if you do it right, guys. So here it is. This is what I want everybody to do. Use your pen and paper and write this down. It's important. It will help you. Okay? Write this down. We help describe your target client. So in our case, we help IT providers. So that's what we do, who have trouble with the client's pain, marketing their business because they don't have the time but would like to, and then we describe an emotional want. Get more leads and make more money, right? Then we say, what makes me different? Well, this is where we put what you sell and why it's different. So we do done-for-you marketing campaigns that allow you to get more leads so my clients get benefits to the client, more money. That's a really simple elevator pitch, guys, and you can use that to build any of your marketing campaigns, all right? You have to ask all of these questions because your entire marketing your entire marketing campaign can be built around it. We just want to. People don't want to just be sold to anymore. They don't want to be bullied. They want to know that you care, and by presenting things in this way, you're going to have that. There's also something called a unique selling proposition, and guys, that number 4, that's your unique selling proposition. That's what makes you different. Okay. So make sure that we have all those pieces there, and you're going to have a great deal. We know companies that, so I'm going to go and show you, this is what I came up with. We help IT companies who have trouble with finding the time to market their services but would like to get more leads. What makes us different from other marketing companies is that we have a team that came out of the IT world and understands how an end user thinks, so our clients get noticed and make money. You should have something very similar to this written down in front of you by now. If you don't, make sure you create this today, guys. It can be a big help to you. So the final one here, also very important, follow-up. We have to keep in touch with our clients. So think about it this way. If somebody comes to your website and they say, I'm interested in your product, and you don't get in touch with them for a week or so, do you think they're still interested in your product? No, absolutely not. You took a week to get back to them. For me, my biggest stumbling block in business was getting quotes out because quotes are so big and time-consuming. So I'd say, I'd go to that meeting, and they sit down, they're interested, they say, yeah, I'll meet with you, and get me a quote back, and we'll talk. And sometimes it'd take me 2 weeks to write a quote just because I couldn't find the time. So get tools that make you write quotes faster. Something like QuoteWorks. There's other tools out there. But just get something that makes it easier for you to start getting those quotes out faster. The other thing that follow-up's good for is to keep in touch with your existing customers. So once we make a new sale, once you take the girl out to the dance, you should probably call on her again, right? So we schedule quarterly lunches for all of our customers. If you're a managed service client with me and you got 20 employees, I sit down and figure out what it's going to cost me per head to feed 20 employees. I multiply that by 4, and I include that in the price of my agreement. The reason I do that is because I'm going to sit down and have a quarterly follow-up meeting with them every 3 months, and we're going to sit down and say, hey, where did we fail you? What'd you like to see more of? Did we get all your problems solved? And what happens is after that second or third meeting, they're no longer talking about what we did wrong. It's just them patting us on the back and talking to us about their families. Now we build a true relationship, guys. I've had my customers call me, and my competitors call them. Or my customers will call me. They'll say, your competitors called me, and he tried to take me away. I said, there ain't no way, because you come to the company picnics, man. You're family, and you take care of us. So what you want is when you really genuinely care about people, the money's going to come, guys, okay? You can also send thank you gifts to the office managers and what have you. Just make sure that you're genuine in the gifts that you send. Don't try to take somebody out to a baseball game with you and you don't enjoy baseball. It's going to be really transparent while you're there. Go do things that they like to do with them. If they like racing, take them to racing. If they like pro wrestling and you like pro wrestling, take them to pro wrestling, guys. It's a cool thing to do. It doesn't cost a whole lot. It really builds relationships the more time you spend with people. So now that we know what marketing is, we can talk a little bit about advertising and what I did different and the different things that I ran into as I did them. So let's talk about traditional advertising. Well, we got television and newspaper and email. These are also known as interrupt marketing. Now, interrupt marketing works like this. You're watching the big game, you're enjoying it, and then all of a sudden, bam, 30-second commercial. Or you're reading the newspaper and you're reading a good article and it says turn to page A3. You turn to page A3, bam, on the top of the newspaper, you've got a large ad interrupting your reading. And then email, of course, we have spam. So there's a problem with interrupt marketing. Times have changed and people are different. So now we use TiVo, so we skip the commercials. I haven't touched a physical newspaper unless a hotel left it for me for free in years. Because I just use RSS feeds. And then, of course, we use our spam filters to get rid of all the junk mail. So I had to ask myself, what's left? I said, well, web marketing. Let's figure it out if it works. So does web marketing work? Major brands are having success using something called content marketing, guys. That's what we're doing right here. That's what a lot of Fortune 500 companies do. They create blogs, social media, newsletter, business news. They find that building brand loyalty via content marketing is very simple. So it's communicating with your customers and prospects without interrupting, without selling. It's simply informational marketing. So instead of pitching products and services, we're going to teach them and make the buyer more intelligent. There was a survey done by a company called Roper Public Affairs, and it said 80% of business decision makers, well, business decision makers is who was polled, guys, and 80% of them said they prefer to get information in a series of articles versus an advertisement. 75% feel that content marketing made them closer to the sponsoring company. It builds rapport, guys. That's the first step in sales. And 60% said that content helps them make better product decisions. So who uses content marketing? Well, American Express uses it through the Open Forum. You can go to the American Express Open Forum and learn how to run your business better, but they don't really talk about credit lines. Blendtec is a blender company that creates these humorous videos where they go like buy an iPhone 3GS or iPhone 4 or whatever, and they throw it in the blender and they hit the blend button and they say, will it blend? And then you watch it get destroyed. It's a lot of fun to watch. A lot of people enjoy it, and it's a really popular website, and it's really increased their sales. And then Microsoft, they were one of the first blogs from they had one of the first major blogs from a big brand. So if content marketing is being used by all these big guys, why aren't we doing it? It works. So we asked that question to a bunch of ASCII members. We said, why aren't you doing web marketing? And this is what we found. Number one answer was web developers are expensive and unreliable. Got to agree with that, guys. It's a lot of web developers just don't do their jobs right. A lot of them said they're too busy serving clients to create content. There's too many social media platforms, and there's no way to measure my goals. So what do we really need to create a good internet presence in today's market? Because it's changed a lot. Well, we need 4 simple things. We need a professional quality website. We need to dress for success. We're not going to go out to our client's office in board shorts and a Hawaiian shirt. We're going to go out there looking professional, and our website needs to look the same. Those of you with GeoCities websites that are still online, we should probably switch that up a little bit by now, guys. So we also need to have an active social media presence. Daily posts to social media service not only make you look like an active company, but Google uses something called social signals right now to determine if you're a good candidate for moving up in the search engine ranks. So make sure you have an active social media presence, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, something like that. Have an active website, guys. Active websites attract attention, so create content often. If you don't have anything new to come back for, and they visited your site once, why come back again ever? And then have a monthly newsletter. That keeps your clients informed about what you're doing, and you can also educate them. So it increases your top-of-mind awareness and brands you as an expert in the field. So with all of this, I'd like to show you an example of some web marketing that we did for another company. Their name is Grapevine MSP. This is their website, or was their website. So it looks real nice, but it has some issues. So if you look at this website, you're going to see that all the text in this website is an image. The problem with that is that Google needs actual text to know who you are and what you do. And there's a call to action button. Whoops, slid back. There's a call to action button down here, but it really doesn't do anything, right? It doesn't go anywhere. Literally, if you clicked on that, you went to a page that was some coupons, like the kind you print, but it didn't say to print them, it didn't say to bring them by, and it didn't say to mention them. And the worst part about this is there's no lead capture on the site, nowhere to get people's email address. So due to these issues, Joe couldn't be found. Joe's the owner of Grapevine MSP, and he couldn't be found any major search engine, not for the searches that he wanted. He wasn't doing good in social media. The site had issues. He wasn't doing any kind of active SEO. So as a result, he had no traffic to his site and no exposure to new clients. So we redesigned his site with a custom design. We provide custom designs. We provide free designs. He wanted us to do a custom design for him, so we did. And here's what he got out of that. And this is true of any website that we design. All the text that you see here is actual text. Google loves to read the words, and now it's going to pay more attention to them. There's a call to action over here where it says schedule an appointment, and that call to action is actually a lead capture form. So he's getting their name and email address. So he knows now that people are coming to his site and engaging with them. So now that his site's properly designed, and we did a little bit of extra SEO work, Joe's site now ranks in the top 10 for all his desired search terms. So IT services Bakersfield, managed services Bakersfield. I think he's actually in the #1 position for the past couple months. But did this matter in the way of traffic? So remember, guys, measurement is an important part of the 5 steps. So these are actual stats from Joe's site. I'd like to see someone type in when they think we took over this website.
Okay, you heard it. Here we go. Okay, let's see. Mark said April 6th is what we've got.
Well, April 6th is the day that we first put the tracking cookie on his old website.
Okay.
So guess again.
Okay, we've got Ron is saying April 10th.
He's absolutely right. April 10th is when we took over the site, and you can immediately see a difference in traffic. That's because we started pushing out social media feeds and getting traffic back to his website. SEO hadn't kicked in yet, and he was already getting a good number of hits. So the thing is, do people read the content that we're pushing out to social media? You bet they do. On this screen, you can see a number of different articles, and you can see they're read 11, 8 times, 6 times, 5 times. People do engage with this content. So when we give people something to look at, they're going to spend the time to look at it and learn and come back. So it's not people just hitting the site once or twice, guys. Our stats show that people come in 2, 3 times a day to see new content or not come in, but read 2 or 3 different things on the site. So it's actually pretty effective, and it keeps them on the site longer, and it builds your brand longer. So what's the solution to all this? Well, let's talk about it. What do we really need? We talked about it earlier. We're going to need the professional quality website, the active social media presence, an active website, and a monthly newsletter. So we can do this stuff for you guys. We can do it for you. We provide you with a professional website. We write your content for you. We focus on the profitable items. A big problem that a lot of websites have is they provide too much information and it bogs the customer down. So we focus on the 5 most profitable items. We do daily social media postings. We provide you a monthly newsletter, and we provide you an email marketing platform that you can use to not only do newsletters, but to do autoresponders, send out white papers, all that good stuff. Of course, we want to make sure we have a professional design. We want to look good. And we want to make sure that we're tracking where people see us. So we provide you an analytics package that lets you track in real time who's coming to your website, how many visits you're getting, and all that good stuff. Okay? Now, there are other services out there that kind of do what we do. What we do is we'll build you the website. We'll create content for you 6 times a week. We'll push that out to Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn so that you start getting some traffic from the social media sites. But we want to be unique. So we do 2 things. You can either engage with us at our lower end package. Other guys kind of do what we do. They give you the web design, the pre-written content, the email tool, but they don't give you social media updates included. They don't give you a measurement tool. Now, this is all well and good. So we have a website. We write the content for you. We brand it for you. We provide you a newsletter. You're going to have 6 posts a week going out to Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. They'll be on your blog posts. They'll be on your own blog, so people will come back to your website to read it. But if you step up to Max, we do something that lets you be unique. So what happens is sometimes a lot of people buy into these programs where they're getting blog posts like we provide, and they say, but I don't want to be like the guy across town. Both of us have the same website. We have the same content. How do we be different? The way we make you different is if you step into the Max program, we'll create 4 articles a month, usually at $85 a month, or $85 each, but we're going to give you some big discounts here, so the step up to Max is going to be very little. We will give you unique content every month, 4 unique posts every month. So it's treated like the newspaper. You've heard of the Associated Press. Everybody buys articles from the Associated Press, and then they have local writers to make the local newspaper different. We're doing the same thing for you in the Max plan. Okay? So anytime somebody spends time with me on a webinar, I appreciate it. It's important to me. I own an IT company too, and I know your day's busy and you got a lot of other stuff to do. So we came up with a little special offer for showing up at the GFI webinar today. And this is the deal. If you sign up at www.verticalaxion.com/GFI, today we're going to give you some special bonuses. We're going to give you big savings on Pro and Max. You're going to save $25 a month on Pro, $29 a month on Max. But if you sign up for a monthly package today, we're not only going to give you those discounts from GFI, we're also going to give you a free mobile website, which is a savings of $590 a year. Normally we charge $350 setup and $20 a month for the website, mobile website hosting, but we're going to give that to you for free as long as you sign up today. And then if you sign up for an annual account and prepay, we're going to give you a free mobile website, and we're going to do something called our local directory service. And that's a $790 savings. Let me explain what the local directory service does for you. There are hundreds of local directories out there, guys. Bing, Yahoo Local, Yellow Pages, Insider Pages, all these different places. We will take the time and go through 100 different platforms and update your name, address, and telephone number. You won't believe how many people are going out finding you on the internet on somebody else's webpage, and it has the wrong phone number, so they never contact you. You're losing out on business because your information's wrong. Today, we're going to give that to you for free when you sign up for an annual account. That's normally a $200 charge. We're going to do it for you absolutely free when you sign up today. That's my pitch. That's my rigmarole. Here's my contact information. Herman Pool with Vertical Axion. There's our phone number. You can email me. Of course, I've got a Facebook or for myself, Facebook for Vertical Axion, and twitter.com/Vertical Axion if you want to catch up with our blogs and see where we're going to be and what we're up to next. At this time, I'm glad to take any questions that might have come up or and answer anything on any kind of marketing at all.
All right, thanks, Herman. Hey, before we get to the Q&A, we've got a few questions here. I thought maybe people in the audience might like to know a little bit more about the whole concept behind guerrilla marketing.
Sure,
and maybe
absolutely.
if you could throw in a couple famous examples.
So guerrilla marketing is basically, guys, it's just like guerrilla warfare, asymmetrical warfare. You want to take and do things in an unconventional way. So a good example of guerrilla marketing would be Samsung. Now, you don't have to be a giant company to do guerrilla marketing. It's meant for small companies, but giant companies have glommed onto it. Some famous students of Jay Levinson are Bill Gates and Steve Jobs both. And so with guerrilla marketing, a great example, just a few weeks ago, Samsung announced their new phone, and what they did is in Times Square they hired a bunch of dancers to do a big silly dance in the middle of Times Square and interrupt things, and everybody saw this flash mob and stopped and watched and learned and tweeted about it, and Facebook posted it and all this other good stuff. So social media drove their helped drive their attendance to their big launch event. You guys can do things like that too, believe it or not, and not have to spend a lot of money.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I just wanted to mention one other thing. This is that you talked about it, that one of the things that Vertical Axion does is that the Google Places, just a lot of people just forget that simple thing of going and entering, it's free, entering their business into Google Places, which does help increase SEO eventually, because that'll give Google some kind of indexing for them.
Absolutely. That's something called citations. And so when we do the local business directory service for you, what happens is we start matching up the right URL, the right phone number, the right address to match your website. And when we do that, it helps boost your SEO. It makes you look more legitimate to Google, so they do things with you.
Okay, excellent. So there we go. We got a little bit of time for some Q&A here. We got some questions coming in. So thank you very much. Feel free to go ahead and ask everyone. If we don't get to them, I'll forward all these to Herman for his homework, so he'll answer them. So we'll go ahead and start with the question from Lee here. They're saying, as a small company, what do you suggest is a reasonable marketing timeline?
So that's a hard one to call. For me, what I always did was I would work with something for about 6 months to a year. And it's not too bad as long as it wasn't a huge investment. If I'm not, you've got to build your budget. A couple things we have to do. We have to say, what is the lifetime average value of our client? What is the cost of the marketing campaign? We have to measure the returns, and we have to give it time to work. For me, 3 months I start seeing something, and several months, it starts working. Now keep in mind, you need to not just in a marketing campaign, it's not just a single thing. So don't buy our website thinking that all of a sudden you're just going to get leads just magically. It's going to take time, number one, and number two, you're going to have to do some supportive marketing behind it. If anybody's telling you anything else, they're full of it. We're going to be honest with you. You need to do supportive marketing behind it. So all of your marketing needs to lead to different things. So for instance, if you run a newspaper ad, or forget a newspaper ad. Let's say you go to a trade magazine. This is your best idea to save money. Go to a trade magazine that matches a vertical that you serve. Create an ad in the trade magazine that says, are you having XYZ problem? We may have the solution. Visit our site. And they visit the site, and the site they visit is a specially designed landing page that tells them more about your possible solution, and it gives them the opportunity to sign up with their email address to get a white paper on that solution. This allows you to track it. This allows you to build interest. This allows you to build rapport. It makes it easier to close the deal. And it also, makes it a lot cheaper to do.
Okay. John was just kind of chiming in about the timing of the marketing campaign. He was saying, yeah, took him about 3 months, and third month they were doing something that just kind of got exploded off the map.
Yep, that's how it happens a lot of times. You got to at least give it 90 days, guys.
Okay, and Mark is asking, when you were talking about putting up different blog posts, what do you suggest is a minimum news post cycle? Like once a week, twice a week?
If you do it once a week, you're doing more than probably everybody else in your market is. Honestly.
Okay.
To get maximum conversion for us, if we go back to, I'm going to go back a couple of slides here. Let's see. I want to show you some results on Joe's deal. There was some dips that you might have seen earlier, and what those dips were from were weekends that we did not have. Do it this way. Here we go. So you see these dips here? Oh, they haven't come up yet. I'm going to give it a second. These dips are weekends. And when posts weren't flowing, we used to do 4 posts a week, and what we found is that we'd get these big dips. So we made the dips smaller by doing 6 posts a week. I'm not saying you have to do 6 posts a week. If you do more than your competition's doing, you're going to have better results than them, period.
Yeah, I think I've seen that, and just in some of our websites and other things. Just on the weekends, people sometimes don't want to read about IT. I've noticed,
Hmm.
and so you might see that.
Well,
Kind
that's
of a
what we were
natural.
wondering, but
Yeah,
we started
yeah.
doing posts on the weekend, and people were still reading.
Okay, so then we're looking at more at as content going up. If
Right.
new content goes up, people want to come see it.
Yep.
Um, Cody has one that I think it's pretty applicable. I think for smaller businesses, they're saying we're a very small business trying to build, and we don't really have a marketing budget. What can we do to help our marketing? And basically, they're asking what's in your opinion, what are the most effective or cheaper? Cheaper is not the good word we're looking for. More
No, no,
cost efficient.
more inexpensive. There's nothing wrong with
Yes,
cheap or inexpensive.
right.
Here's the thing, Cody. For me, it was web marketing. But I know the time it takes. I happen to own a web development company, so I was able to do it. It wasn't a problem for me. It wasn't an extra cost for me, very little extra cost for me. For you, if you don't have this, it's either going to take a large investment of your time or you're going to have to subscribe to something like this. That's why I created the program. It's very inexpensive. You know, I hope you don't mind, Scott. It's very inexpensive. I
Okay.
don't want you to think this is expensive at all. It's for you guys on a monthly basis, it's $125 a month. So it is very affordable. You can get your return on investment by just getting 1 hour of billable time, guys. Now, having said that, the other things you can do that are just as that are much less expensive. For me, the first thing I did was telemarketing, just calling up people cold and doing old school telemarketing. There's a lot of good books on telemarketing out there that you can get. I suggest if you're really on a really constrained budget and 125 is too much, then you need to probably just hit the phones. Hit the phones, get some business cards, make some flyers, and go out and hand them out.
Okay, excellent. Chris has more of a strategical question here. He is asking what would be a good way to differentiate. Sorry, too much coffee.
Easy for you to
Differentiate
say.
between residential and consumer business marketing. I mean, he's saying they want to avoid calls from clients that don't have money for their services.
Go to where they are. It's as easy as that. Like I was saying earlier, go to a vertical specific trade mag. Okay? Don't advertise where the poor people are. I don't mean that in a mean way. That's what we're saying. Don't advertise where broke people hang out and it won't be there. Don't go into your penny saver if that's not the client you want. Personally, I advertise in the penny saver. I make a lot of money in the residential repair market still today. I love it. But yeah, you can advertise wherever you want. You can get whatever crowd you want. Just make sure that one, your message is pointed to them in the way it should be, and two, you're putting it where they're at.
Okay, on the penny pages subject, or along those lines, William was wanting to know do you still use Yellow Pages? Do you recommend others use Yellow Pages or phone books? Or
Absolutely. Well, what I said earlier about phone books and Yellow Pages, we had an interesting story happen with that, where we were doing our Yellow Page ads this year, and in December, the Yellow Pages came out. All of a sudden, we started getting a lot of phone calls at the office, and the guys were like, "What's going on? We're getting a lot of calls." So we take a look at it, and I look at the phone tracking, and I find out it's one of the Yellow Pages. So I go and I go to the Yellow Page office, and I pick up a copy of it, and I look inside, and everybody else has taken their ad out, but mine's the only one there. Literally 7 other people in my town of 10,000 run IT companies, and none of them are advertising Yellow Pages now. And that week that ran, I made $3,500 extra in just $35 diagnostics. And then all the computers that were repaired, we had over 90% of them actually approved a repair, and our repairs run from 150 to 300. So we had a good week. It paid the Yellow Pages paid for itself in a week.
Okay, excellent. I think these last few here that we have are mostly, these are kind of aimed at you and your business, Herman. Ed's asking, do you work with international clients or just any UK-based ones? Or just
Absolutely. We
US?
can work. Currently, we work with no UK-based ones. I won't mislead you in that, but we absolutely can. We have people that can, write in the Queen's English as well as they can write in American English. So there's absolutely no problem using our content. So our content, let me talk about the content real quick also. When we write blogs for you, we're writing business and business/technology blogs. And the reason we're writing that is our goal is to attract, and this answers somebody else's question earlier, our goal is to attract business owners. So our articles are about things that interest business owners, not necessarily about our company, but things that interest people that we would want to do business with. So that draws them in. So yes, we can do business internationally, not a problem.
Okay, and then a couple people had questions about the websites that you're designing. Is that built on a CMS? I mean, what kind of access will people have?
So you will have access to add, remove, change anything you want on the site. Matter of fact, let me do something real quick, and I'll bring up one of my pages. Let's see. I'll go to your. I'm going to go to a client's website who has no problem with me showing it. Bear with me.
Just while you're doing this, just a reminder, everyone, we are recording this right now, so you'll get a link in about a week or so where you can download the MP3 and watch the video file as well.
This is where everybody gets to see what a horrible typist I am because I can't. I did it. Okay, great. So here we are in the back of the system, and you're going to have access to this system when you sign up. And making a new post is as easy as going to New, hitting Post. We can type a title. We can type our content. And we can hit Publish. I'm going to hit Preview so you can see what happens. And you'll automatically have a new post here, and it will have related posts listed at the bottom so we can keep them engaged. This is the best part about this. Another good thing about it is when you log into our dashboard, we make it very easy to use. You're going to see your statistics right here. So you're going to know what's going on in real time on your website. And of course, you have access to add posts, add pages, add landing pages. We make it very easy to use the system. Here's the best part. You don't have to do any of this. If you just send us the content, we'll do it for you. We'll format it, make it look pretty, and all that good stuff. When we build your sites, when you sign up, we're going to give you a choice of 5 different designs that you can get for absolutely free, no setup whatsoever. But if you want a custom site, we only charge you $1,000, and we'll make you a completely custom design to your specifications. So it can be as inexpensive as you like or as detailed and unique as you like.
Okay, excellent. And excuse me. So if anybody, we're getting a lot more specific questions. I think they're just kind of relate to you and your business here, Herman. So I'm going to collect all these up, and I'll email those to you so you can answer those and help these people out.
Absolutely.
All right, and I want to thank everyone here. I want to thank my guest, Herman Pool, again, president of Vertical Axion. And what's your new title, Herman?
I'm still getting used to it myself, man. I'm the director of development and business growth for Guerrilla Marketing International. Literally that title was bestowed upon me on Monday morning or Sunday morning when I was out visiting with Jay and his wife, and we're going to come out with some great new products for the IT world to help you guys do better marketing and to help you grow your businesses, not just marketing but business advice as well.
Okay, excellent. Thank you very much for being here. And like I said, to repeat this again, yes, this is being recorded right now. It'll be on the website. Check your inbox for a link from GoToMeeting that'll give you the address where you come to it. And if I could just, our next webinar is going to be in April, where we're going to be doing with Chris Martin from GFI, and he's going to be here telling us how to manage mobiles for money. So that's something else that you can kind of add to your business services there.
I'm looking forward to that personally.
Yeah, it should be a good one. Chris is going to be back with us, so that's always that's always a good time. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Herman. Thank you very much, audience. Thanks for turning up, and I hope you have a great Easter weekend. Don't forget, it is World Backup Day on Sunday. So I sent around a link that we posted on the MSP site about your backups and things of that nature.
And you're going to see one from us as well, guys. Put that content out there.
That's right. All right, thanks a lot, everyone.
Take care, guys.